Everyone loves to call koalas lazy. You see them clinging to a tree, eyes half shut, barely moving, and it looks like they've given up on life. But the truth is, they're not being lazy at all. They're running on the worst fuel you could imagine. Koalas live off eucalyptus leaves, and those leaves are terrible. They're full of toxins, they don't give much energy, and they taste about as exciting as wet cardboard. So every time a koala takes a bite, it's basically eating poison salad. They don't have the luxury of grabbing a snack from somewhere else. This is their one and only menu. Because the food is so weak, their bodies have to save every drop of energy. That's why they move in slow motion, like they're stuck in a never-ending Monday morning. And when they're not moving, they're sleeping for 20 hours a day. It's not because they're spoiled or lazy. It's because staying awake too long burns more energy than the leaves can ever replace. And that slow drain isn't just tiring, it can literally kill them. To us, it looks adorable, a fluffy little animal knocked out in the branches, maybe even smiling. But that smile isn't joy, it's pure exhaustion. It's the face of an animal that knows lunch is the same toxic leaf it had yesterday, and the day before, and pretty much every single day of its life. Even when they're awake, koalas don't get to do much. They climb a little higher in the tree, grab a few leaves, and start chewing slowly. But the food is so weak that before long, their body just gives up again. It's the same pattern all day. Climb, eat, stop, sleep, repeat. The sad part is, people took this struggle and turned it into a stereotype. Instead of seeing survivors, they just saw nap machines. Lazy teddy bears became the label, when in reality it's more like workers stuck on permanent low battery mode. The poison buffet. Most animals won't even touch eucalyptus. It's too hard, it tastes bitter, and it's packed with toxins. But koalas? They went all in. Out of everything growing in the forest, they stuck with the one food that gives almost no energy while slowly poisoning them at the same time. That's not really a choice of diet, that's being trapped by it. Their whole system is built just to survive this food. Inside their gut is a special chamber that works like a slow filter, pulling out tiny scraps of energy while fighting off the poison. The process is so slow that while other animals are done eating and running around, the koala is still sitting there, working through a single meal. And then there's their brain. Koalas have one of the smallest, plainest brains of any mammal. It doesn't have many folds, which means it can't do much problem solving. That shows up in the way they eat. If the leaves are still on a branch, no problem. They'll grab and chew. But if you pick those same leaves off the branch and put them right in front of a koala, it won't eat them. Same food, same smell, but its brain just doesn't make the connection. For a koala, if it's not hanging on a tree, it doesn't even look like food. The strangest part is how baby koalas learn to eat this poison. They can't just switch from milk to leaves on their own. The mother has to give them a starter kit, and that starter kit is her own poop, a soft bacteria-filled poop that teaches the baby's stomach how to process eucalyptus. It's gross, but without it, the baby can't survive. In koala life, the first solid meal is not a snack, it's mom's bathroom pass. So when you see a koala clinging to a tree, it's not just resting, it's fighting through a diet of poisonous leaves that almost nothing else would eat. Zero water supply. The word koala literally means no water, and they live up to the name. You'll almost never catch one drinking from a stream or a pond, because instead, they try to get all their water from the leaves they eat. The problem is, those leaves are already dry, bitter, and toxic. It's like trying to stay hydrated by chewing on paper towels. On normal days, this just barely keeps them going, but when the heat rises, the system falls apart. Those leaves lose moisture fast, and suddenly, the koala's whole water supply is gone. Their body starts running out of fluids quicker than it can replace them, and they hit dehydration like a brick wall. That's when you see something you almost never see, a koala climbing down from its tree and wobbling across the ground. Its steps aren't steady. It sways side to side like it could fall at any second. The body looks weak, the paws drag slow, and every move screams struggle. It's not drunk, it's just desperate for water. And when the heat waves hit, that desperate sight becomes heartbreakingly common. Rescuers get flooded with calls about koalas leaving the trees just to find a drink. Some end up in people's yards, sitting weak and still, their eyes dull from thirst. Others crawl straight up to humans, wrapping both paws around a water bottle and drinking like it's the first drop they've had in days. At first, it looks cute, but then you realize the only reason it's down from the trees is because it's right on the edge of collapse. And if you think dehydration is bad, wait until you see the next struggle these animals face. It's a whole different nightmare. Heat stroke in the sunburned country. Koalas may look like walking teddy bears, but don't forget, they're covered head to toe in thick fur. And guess where nature decided to drop them? Not in some cool forest. Nope, in Australia, one of the hottest places on the planet. It's like showing up to the desert wrapped in a winter coat you can't take off. When summer hits, the heat doesn't just rise, it crushes everything, leaving the koalas stuck on bare branches with no shade at all. They can't escape it. Their fur traps the heat, and the trees give them nowhere to hide. It's like being stuck outside in 40-degree heat, wearing a thick winter blanket your grandma stitched, and she's standing there making sure you don't take it off. The real trouble starts when their bodies can't handle the heat anymore. Koalas don't sweat like we do, and they don't cool off by panting like dogs. They've got no backup plan. Once the heat builds up inside, their whole system just overheats. That's when heat stroke kicks in, sudden, deadly, and without any warning signs. Some koalas just can't handle the heat. During the worst heat waves, rescuers find them collapsed under trees, too weak to climb back up. It's heartbreaking because these animals are supposed to be safe in the treetops, but the sun literally drags them down. When they do survive the heat, they don't look good. Their fur turns messy, their chest heaves up and down like they've been running nonstop, and they spread themselves flat across branches, just trying to cool down. From far away, it might look like they're relaxing, but up close, you can see it's a struggle, just to keep their body temperature under control. The worst part is some don't even make it that far. A single brutal week of heat can wipe out hundreds, which is very sad. The heat alone is already brutal, but in Australia, it doesn't stop there. When the sun bakes the land dry, it sets the stage for something even worse: bushfires. Nowhere to run. When flames rip through eucalyptus forests, it's not a slow burn, it's explosive. The trees practically volunteer as fuel. Their leaves are full of oils that burn like gasoline. The fire climbs trunks, leaps through the canopy, and rolls forward faster than most animals can escape. Birds shoot into the sky, kangaroos sprint into the open, but koalas? They don't have speed or wings. They live in the very trees that are burning. By the time the fire reaches them, climbing down is too slow, and running isn't even an option. Some don't move at all, just clinging to branches while the flames get closer. Others try to climb down, but the ground isn't any safer. It's covered in smoke, sparks, and fire. By the time rescuers finally reach the animals, the blaze has already passed through. The koalas are still alive, but they are in terrible shape. Their paws are burned, their fur is scorched, and they sit weak and confused in the black ash. They don't look like the healthy animals that once filled the forest. They look broken, just sitting where their home used to be. Their trees are gone. The leaves are gone. All that's left is charred wood and dust. No food, no shade, no water, nothing. A koala might make it through the flames, but then starve in the empty land the fire leaves behind. Disease struggles. Surviving fire is one thing, but even when the smoke clears, koalas face another enemy that you can't see coming: disease. And the worst of them all is chlamydia. Yeah, the same word you've heard about in humans, except here, it's wiping out wild koalas by the thousands. It doesn't just give them a fever and go away. It blinds them, leaves them sterile, or keeps them in constant pain. Imagine a fluffy animal with eyes that should sparkle, now cloudy and half shut, struggling to find the next branch. That's a nightmare. The sad part is, these koalas didn't do anything to deserve it. They're not making bad choices or living risky lives. They just sit in their homes and still get infected. The disease spreads from one koala to another, and with their space shrinking after the bushfires, it spreads even faster. And when rescuers finally pick them up, the damage shows right away. Their fur is rough and patchy. Their bodies look thin, like they haven't eaten properly in weeks. And sometimes they don't even move. They just sit there, almost like they've already given up. They're alive, still breathing, but everything about them makes it clear they don't feel like living anymore. And chlamydia isn't the only thing weighing them down. Stress itself acts like a sickness for koalas. When the trees around them keep disappearing and danger never seems to stop, their bodies just can't cope anymore. Their immune system, which is supposed to protect them, breaks down under the pressure. A healthy koala is already not the toughest fighter against sickness, but a stressed one barely stands a chance at all. That's when infections spread faster, small cuts never heal, and even the tiniest illness can turn into something life-threatening. It's a tough cycle that never ends. When trees disappear, koalas get more stressed. When stress builds, their bodies get weaker. Weak bodies mean more sickness. More sickness means fewer babies being born. And with fewer babies each year, their future keeps shrinking right in front of us. Human neighbors aren't fun. Koalas used to only worry about snakes or dingoes, but now their biggest danger comes from us. Every new house, farm, or shop takes another piece of their home away. When a road cuts through the forest, the treetops no longer connect, and to a koala that's like someone knocking down the hallway in your house and leaving a busy highway in the middle. If they want to reach food or family on the other side, they can't swing through branches anymore, so they climb down to the ground, and that's where the real danger starts. They step onto the road thinking it's just another fallen log, but cars don't stop, and most never make it across. Even the lucky ones that survive traffic can still end up in backyards where dogs don't see a gentle visitor, but a moving chew toy, and the koala is stuck in a fight it can't win. And for the ones who dodge cars and dogs, the fight still isn't over because the trees themselves keep disappearing. Their whole neighborhood is being torn down and replaced with houses, leaving behind lonely survivors clinging to single trees in the middle of busy streets, sitting on fences like confused neighbors, or wandering across lawns like they're lost. They don't belong there, but with no forest left, they've got nowhere else to go. And if all that wasn't enough, old age makes life even harder. Years of chewing on tough eucalyptus leaves wear their teeth down flat, so eating becomes painful and slow. The sad part is, the trees are still standing and the food is right there, but they just can't chew it anymore. So they grow weaker with every day, sitting in the same branches they've lived in their whole lives, slowly fading while the forest keeps moving on around them. That's the tough life of a koala. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe to our channel and maybe leave a like too. Take care, and we'll see you in the next one.